Hello everybody, welcome to another Isaac Cast a Pub. Today we're watching Based and Blueballed versus the Smashers. We're here in the drafting stage. This is one of the old, a replay on the old patch, so there may be some issues watching it. Just in terms of glitches and that sort of thing.
10 seconds remain.
At least I want it to be updated on the meta to give some kind of analysis.
Dial team ban.
Gotta say I'm not 100% certain what to expect from this game. I did play in RD2L a couple of seasons ago, and it was a good time despite the fact that my team lost 90% of the games that we played. But what can you do? Looking at the first couple bans that have came out, that makes sense. As a support player, I do love some Disruptor, and Pangolier is typically just a good all-around hero.
5 seconds remain.
The new drafting order has certainly added something to the game. I gotta say, I think I do like it more than the old drafting order. I think it lets you cover off a lot more of your opponents, while at the same time giving you the freedom to craft strategies as the drafting stage goes along. The Visage ban is probably specific to a player. That isn't something that I would ban in the first phase. However, the Lifestealer ban is definitely something that was previously first phase bannable.
10 seconds remain. Radiant team, pick. Dial team, pick.
Slaughter first pick makes sense. That's a somewhat flexible hero. I think in some of the pro games, was it Heroic that ran him middle? You could also play him as an offlaner, so that's most likely a 3, but you can maybe flex that to a 2 in some situations. Maybe a 4 if you're an absolute crazy person, but we'll have to see what they do with that. Dire are taking some time with their first pick. They're picking the Oracle. That's a pretty good hero against Slardar. You can dispel the haze. You can disarm him. And I don't honestly mind that laning stage matchup. It of course depends on what the other support is. It's going to help the Slardar in that safe lane, but it is good. I think Oracle's a hero that's trending and is on the rise. I think it does have a surprisingly strong lane presence for the fact that it is a mostly defensive support, but landing that Purifying Flames combo into the Fortune's End is quite handy. Oh wait, it's not Fortune's End. You know, the Q, the one with the ball. Troll Ban, that's another good carry. It is one that synergizes quite well with the Oracle, so I do understand that ban. Other carries that they might want to ban out here, something like a Terror Blade. You get that ult off, you're getting that automatic heal. But really, any carry that just benefits from a strong purge is going to synergize well with the Oracle. And a lot of times it's the melee carries. Something like Ursa, I think, also works really well with the Oracle. So if they are banning out carries, I would like to see that get banned. But they banned Pudge. I suppose you can throw the W onto Pudge to make it immune to magic damage, but not something that I would have worried about it at this stage. Unless, of course, they want to pick something that is very reliant on heal and they don't want Pudge eggs to mess that up, something like an Alchemist. But in that case, I think they would have banned AA. The Hoodwink ban makes sense. I think I would have expected that in the first phase. It's a very strong 4. Just a squishy hero that can output a lot of damage. Naturally builds Gleipnir, which is a good item. The Muerta pick makes sense. Slardar's already saying they want to take this in a physical damage direction, and Muerta ignores a lot of that with her ulti.
10 seconds remain.
I gotta say, I don't necessarily like its pairing with the Oracle. Maybe I'll be proven wrong in this game. I mean, you have the Q to set up for the dead shot, and that is helpful. And, I mean, I suppose the calling works well with works well with Fortune's End, just getting them trapped in there, or getting them trapped with multiple spirits hitting them. But as far as laning presence goes, I fear if they pair the Slardar with a very strong 4, they might just get ran at from like level 3 upwards. But you know, again, we'll see. We'll see where they take this. Yeah, the Grimstroke I think makes that offlane quite dangerous if that is in fact a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 5. You already sort of know what the matchup is now going to be in that top lane. Sorry.
10 seconds remain.
And I do see a lot of jeopardy to the Dire there, unless they're planning on flexing that Oracle or that Muerta somewhere else. In terms of the next pick, I think it makes sense for the Radiant to pick their support. They go Zeus. Okay. That's probably a mid lane hero. So now you know the Slardar is going to be off lane. And the Zeus mid. Zeus is strong this meta. Good against Muerta. I mean, you do have the Oracle to provide some defense and some synergy, but if Oracle isn't protecting that Muerta, Zeus is going to blow him up as soon as they press ult. A good safe lane matchup too, something you can pick mid without really seeing what the other hero is, just because you know you can spam out that arc lightning and just push the lane out. It's going to be pretty tough for them to kill you unless you misplay, which I would definitely do if I was playing Zeus this game. I do like the clock. Zeus isn't as vulnerable as he used to be with his jump now that he has, but certainly the Grimstroke is still a hero that you can get on, and it does put a little bit of pressure on their next support. So I think that's the two supports. You definitely know now that Muerta is a carry, and if I was them, I would just pick their mid. You know it's going up against the Zeus. Something like a Storm Spirit here would be nice. I suppose I like the Razor because it can flex 1, or it can flex 3. I should say 3 or 2. So that way they're hiding it, but you already sort of know what your mid matchup is, so I would rather get the last pick of the carry here. But I suppose you can force them to pick something that isn't good against Razor, or that's worried about laning against Razor, and then pick something that counters it afterwards. So it's really not a bad pick at all, the more I think about it. I gotta say, initially I think they are still going to have a problem in the Dire safe lane, but as these drafts have developed, I've started to like the Dire's draft a little bit more, just what the Razor's able to bring to the game and the disruption effect, or the disrupting effect that Clockwork is going to have in these fights. We'll of course see. There's 2 picks still to go, 4 bans still to go, a lot that can happen.
Captain's mode.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm not too impressed with the Bane. I know he's a strong hero right now. He'll probably lane very well against the Clockwork. Help secure that safe lane, or sorry, help secure that safe lane. No matter who it is, and has Fiend's Grip, but you know, between the Deadshot and Clock's just natural stuns, it's going to be tough for him to get off a sustained Fiend's Grip in these fights, I think. I like the PL ban. I mean, they have Zeus to clear illusions. He's especially good at it with the lightning hands. And they have the Grimstroke. But if they're not planning on picking a carry that really deals with it well, makes sense to ban it out. Chaos Knight. So both teams don't want to play up against illusion heroes.
10 seconds remain.
They don't have the most jump. They could ban out something like a Drow, ban out something like a Sniper. I think a Drow last pick for the Radiant would actually be good. Build a Hurricane Pike, pushing away the Razor, pushing away the Clockwork, and you can just dump out the damage. Plus that AoE agility is going to help Zeus. You got Slardar to amp up your physical damage. So I would honestly really like to see a Drow ban.
Radiant team banned.
They banned the Bristleback. Yeah, I wouldn't be too scared of Bristle if I was the Dire, but, you know, what do I know? And then I would ban a mid here that has jump.
Team, pick Dire team, pick.
Okay.
Templar assassin.
And then TA. Not exactly the same thing as a Drow, but a range core that does a lot of damage. Maybe build Hurricane Pike. Maybe I just don't understand how these people are laning.
10 seconds remain.
Maybe it's a mid Oracle. That's why they banned out the Spirit Breaker. They might know something I don't.
Captain's mode.
And it's a last pick Brewmaster. So off lane Brew, mid lane Razor, safe lane Muerta. Let's see how this goes. I'm not gonna lie, based on these lineups, I am still very much feeling the Dire. I think this is gonna be a tough game for the Radiant. Yeah, good luck for them fighting through this. But we're waiting just on the Clockwork to pick his hero. And then we can jump into the game. Or I can just hit this button and it'll take us right to it. Oh, we have Zet. I wonder if this is the Zet from the Reddits, who knows the mechanics very well of this game. I like that Razor skin. Alright, so once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let's pull up Last Hits and Denies. Here on the safe lane, we got an early smoke coming out. Zet on the Zeus, Scata on the Slardar. We have Clocken on the TA. Pisces on the Grimstroke, he got that early Blood Grenade, and bringing up the rear, Emphatic, playing that Bane. Meanwhile, on the Dire team, we have Lapsed Pacifist, playing on the Clockwork, Kingfisher, taking up the Muerta. He's the one who sent me this replay, or she. Thank you very much. Username already registered, playing on the Oracle. Billy Smoocher, playing the Brew, and Hulk, playing that Razor. It looks like we're going to have an early fight here as Pacifist walks up into 5 of them and just gets deleted. Some good damage coming down in return, but they do not want to take this fight 4v5, especially with some of the low cooldowns that the Radiant do have. Nothing too big expended in order to get that kill. And the Dire reprimanded for their hubris, retreat back to the high ground. Billy Spoocher is making efforts, I think, to go and try and snag some of the top runes, but they might be trying to fight again on this bot rune. Clocken sitting there with the Meld Strike.
Burn down your reason and throttle.
And it looks like it's just going to be a 2-for-2 rune exchange. I gotta say, I think most of the action here... Oh, and I apologize. It's in fact a mid Brewmaster. Going for an early bottle into those bracers, into the Radiance. Building up a lot of stats. I appreciate that. But on the bot lane here, it's going to be Clock Razor against Bane and TA. Yeah, I mean, I think Clock Razor is pretty strong. You just have a lot of control from Clock that's going to hold people and let Razor beat into them. But we'll see. The most action I expect is on the top lane. You got the wards coming out. A D ward taking away that hard camp from the Radiant. That's important for this lane. These 2 ranged heroes, it's going to be vital. The Sentry ward coming out to block that easy camp. And nobody gets to pull creeps on this lane. Looks like pretty standard item builds. Not going for the Quelling Blade, but that makes sense. Mid lane, it is Zeus versus Brewmaster. Zeus is up right now, 6-0 on the CS, but it is still early. Brewmaster can still turn it around. And Clock picks off a courier on the bottom lane. TA is sad. So in terms of where I expect the action to pop off, mid should mostly be a wash. If anyone's going to die here, it will be the Brewmaster. I think top is going to be a lane that very much favors the Radiant. The fact that their pull was denied to them is actually quite a big early game step, and I think they should try and deny it as soon as possible. Interesting that he is walking over to body block as well. Make sure that they just don't get that camp. However, he may be dying here. Oh, the dead shot coming from downtown. They managed to kill him off, and Zeus dies middle. Brewmaster gets a kill and throws out that tip. He can also get some runes top, get some runes bottom, and fill himself back up on the juice. So I got the first blood, but missed the second blood. They were simultaneous. Please don't hold that shit against me. Looks like they want to try and be aggressive here. But not sure what happened. Abilities being thrown out left, right, and center, but missing on all fronts. Kingfisher seems to be just going for some early stat items. I would suggest that the boots in this lane would be very helpful. Being able to outrun or at least run away from Slardar for as long as possible is helpful. For instance, now. But it looks like they are going to be able to pop the Oracle going onto him with that aggression. Just need a bash from the right click. That takes him down. They are trying to get some damage in. But they have to back off as Kingfisher is protected by the tower. The wave is pushing out now, and they still lack a pole camp. Brewmaster has firmly taken the lead in the middle lane, managing to make a recovery from that 6-0 start for the Zeus. But doing very well. That kill probably helped quite a bit with that, just in terms of bringing him back up. He has his bottle now. Probably just going to be a regen exchange. Zeus also has his bottle. He can probably output more damage than him just in terms of harass, but Brewmaster does have a bit of a lead given that kill and is a naturally very tanky hero. Bot lane has been a bit of a similar series of just passivity and farming. There is at least a side pull here that's quite helpful. I would like to see maybe the Radiant try and pull this wave back a little bit, but as of right now they are fighting pretty strong, and Clocken is holding his own. They are trying to go on this guy. Clock actually traps them both in the cogs. They don't have any mana on the Razor, so he can't fight back, and they are just out of resources on this bot lane and can't actually threaten in the way that I hope they would. Do have a magic wand, or magic stick rather, and that's helpful. Do have boots, so they are at least getting some items up on their heroes that will hopefully be helpful. And yeah, there's the pullback, just on the one creep, but at the very least it does take it back a little ways. Razor might be dying for that one. He has stepped forward, trying to run away, has to run to the side. Clock makes his best effort to pull. But it looks like TA will actually just take this stack. Slardar dies top. However, they also kill off the Razor and the Muerta in exchange for that. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they have ulted on the Brewmaster, chasing down the Zeus, getting that early level 6. That's that early kill that he got paying off and allowing him to just snowball the lane. This Brew may end up being quite a big problem for them. Bane has left. Ooh. Yeah, Bane left him alone, but he wisely backed off. Not like me when I play carry. I would be dying right in the middle of the enemy creep wave right now. The rundown now onto the TA. He's trapped in the cogs. Razor has now realized that he should probably come over and help his buddy. He is sapping down the TA, going to get those right clicks off, going to kill him off, and now hopefully trying to turn onto the Bane. Bane is running him down, does not have the mana for the Brain Sap, however. Out comes the ulti from the Zeus, has killed off the Clockwork, and puts the Razor low, getting a kill on him again. So the TA trades his life for 2, and the Zeus gets a much needed comeback kill. The top lane, it seems like Moira has slightly given up laning. I didn't think it was going that badly for her, but she might be worried about getting run down by the Slardar now, and Oracle can actually do quite a bit to stop that. He is out-leveling his carry at the moment. But there is at least 2 range creeps and a healthy set coming in here. And Oracle with the big steal on that Wisdom rune, getting himself closer to level 6. Clock also approaching that level 6. In terms of ults, we now have ult up on the Slardar. That makes him much more dangerous. We have ult up as Zeus, as we have seen. Ult up on Brew, as we have seen. And that seems to be it this game. The supports on the Radiant will probably be lacking levels for a little bit, but I mean, they did reasonably well in their lanes, certainly better than I thought they would have. Definitely expected them to get run over on this bot lane, but they managed to hold it together. Grimstroke is going on an interesting mission here top. It's a little weird. And then waiting for the courier. I suppose he saw it on this ward? Yeah, I would have crossed through there. So that's how he knows that it's there. They're trying to chase down the Oracle. Oracle has disarmed himself and is hiding. But it looks like a dive is going to be incoming. They have the Corrosive Haze out onto the Oracle, trying to chase him down with the Grimstroke. Grimstroke gets pushed back. They are trapped. Should be trapped in a second by the Cogs. They are not. The Cogs just pushes them back. And Brave Clockwork moves forward. In comes the Brewmaster. He's here to fight. They are trying to go on them. Managed to burst. No, Brew gets his ulti off. They almost bursted him down. The Slardar has died. Oracle is saving that Clockwork, and they are running down the Zet on that Zeus. He falls as well. That's a 2 for 0. You know, a big ult used in the Brewmaster ulti, but you know, a kill on the 3, a kill on the 2. That is well worth the exchange. And it looks like they might be able to tag on a 3rd as well. The Fear comes out. They are trying to run him down, but Oracle's E, level 3, does a lot of damage at this stage in the game and just finishes off that Bane. So that early experience deficit is going to be exacerbated by that fight. Going to be very difficult on the bot lane. TA has been found, but is able to just meld and sit there with the coming in on the Grimstroke. That's going to be very helpful. A lot of damage sapped. He may just kill him. This poor Grimstroke, he did not. He just wanted to help his carry, and he dies. I think he turned around to try and cast a spell and just got popped by that. Alright, this is a glitch. There should be a 3rd ability here. Anyways, he's getting healed up by the Oracle, trying to keep him up and running, but he gets burst down as well. That's a right click and some gold going away the TA. However, it's a lot of attention pulled, a lot of space for Kingfisher on the top lane. Going for the Mjolnir, let me switch to net worth. So we see that Zeus is the top of the net worth. I would have thought he would be doing a little bit worse just because the laning stage didn't go ideally for him. He is trying to go for that phylactery. For some reason I thought it was Parasma. Going for that phylactery. They are going to just jump onto the Brewmaster, kill him off with the Fiend's Grip. More than enough control. And more than enough damage to make him pay for walking up to their high ground. Getting closer and closer. Now he has that phylactery. Gonna be going for the Lightning Hands build. That should help provide him with additional damage, additional push, and that very annoying build that we all hate. The bot lane, Razor is pressuring in. He doesn't have a whole lot of support behind him. but between the catapult, that should be sufficient for him to take it. And it seems like the Radiant are quite happy to let him take it. Instead, deciding to make a move towards top lane. There's 3 of them up here. The Brewmaster is sitting behind. He's going to run in. He's dropping nothing. Well, he got silenced, so he doesn't get to drop anything. He drops it now and tries to run forward, but it looks like the Radiant may be able to... Clockwork hooks in, actually, getting that quick pick off. They run forward. The Zeus has arrived, but the Zeus may have arrived too late to save their Grimstroke. Nonetheless, the Brewmaster is trying to make the best out of it and trying to turn this fight into something, but his ulti is about to run out, and he is left behind their tier 1 tower. But the Radiant, already down a man, not looking to punish. He's able to just disengage and walk away. To be fair, Fiend's Grip was on cooldown, and it looks like their Grimstroke is still only level 5. They really need to focus on getting that rune at 14 minutes to make up for that experience deficit. If you look at the graph, win probability is 72% for the Dire. That does make sense. But at least 3 levels for the Dire as well. And that's really why the Grimstroke does not have his level 6 yet. Slardar is getting closer to his blink. This creep wave will certainly help him get there. But it is 12 minutes into the game. He needs to go around, needs to be able to play with his team, and needs to be able to make space for this Zeus, who's just getting ran down in the mid lane. Clockwork on the other side, I thought I heard him hook in, but I must have been delusional because he hooked out. Was saved by the Oracle, and it looks like they want to be pushing up onto the Razor. He's gone in too deep. He's going to get picked by the Grimstroke, by the TA, by the Zeus. They kill him, and Grimstroke collects that gold and that experience to get his level 6. The good news is that despite that death, again, more space for the Muerta, who didn't have the easiest start to this game, but is now second in the net worth and should be able to farm her way up. Getting very close now, indeed, to that Maelstrom, and that's only going to help accelerate her ability to farm from there. However, the Radiant are aware of this. They do want to put some pressure on and take this tier 1 tower. It is still standing 13 minutes into the game. Razor also was able to take their tower bottom very quickly. And so that opens up the map a little bit more for them. I may want to see them make a few more moves into the Radiant jungle, just having opened up that space. Or continue to try and turn pressure into taking mid tier 1, but it's always tough to push in against Zeus. Brewmaster is also getting very close to his Radiance. They might want to just let him farm that up before they do anything. That's a huge power spike. It's especially good because it'll help burn through the refraction charges of the TA, making him vulnerable. I like this choice. I like the Aether Lens on Oracle. Someone who's played some Oracle in the past, that extra cast range is incredibly helpful. However, he is very exposed middle. It looks like they do want to try and jump on him to start. He's getting the heals off. He has now been corrosive hazed. Brewmaster trying to run in, pops his ulti, but again, he pops it, and they seem to be able to just run away. TA put up into the air. They drop him down. They throw out the stun, but you're going to have the stun coming out as well from the E from the Grimstroke. They trap in the Slardar. That's a very tanky target. Not sure if that's who you want to go on. The ult has came out for the Grimstroke, trapping them both. Ult comes out from Zeus. Ult came out from the Muerta, but all they get for it is their death. And Razor is appearing too late in the fight to actually help out his teammates. Razor is trying to get that Eternal Shroud up just to tank up. It's good, I suppose, against Zeus. You want to be tanky, you want to be able to frontline, but I wonder if a BKB might not be the better choice here. In any event, Radiant have taken Dire's middle lane. They're now drawing on the map. It seems they want to be playing through the enemy's jungle, putting pressure and taking away the space. TA has now overtaken the Muerta and is second in net worth. Farming Ancients, the only way that a TA can. And going to push out the lane. They have found the Brewmaster on top. He seems to be getting caught. He gets Fiend's Grip. His ult was on cooldown anyways, but that is just delaying the Radiance even further. And Oracle, knowing that their TP would be hopeless, cancels it. But this does open up that top tier 1 tower now for the Radiant. TA is already pushing it in. I assume that's what they will be going for.
Radiant's middle tower thunders with blows from their enemy.
I suppose the Radiant, despite being down levels early through a couple good team fights, have helped turn the tides here, getting a couple good pickoffs and just playing together, playing as a team. They've managed to turn this game around, and they are now firmly in the driver's seat. What they probably should do is just sweep across the map as 4 and have TA farm behind them. Look for kills, see what they can find. They have the Blink Dagger up on Slaughter now. He's getting much closer to his Aghanim Shard. That's going to help. Just that extra Corrosive Haze being applied in an AoE does damage. But they know their strengths. They know they got a lot of minus armor, and they know that they can take Roche with that Corrosive Haze, with that Meld Strike. Roche should die fairly quickly here to them. Or at least as quickly as a lineup can take Roche at 16 minutes. The Desolator is now complete on the TA. The bashes are now coming out, so he will drop. In the meantime, the Dire are trying to do their best here. They do have that Maelstrom. They are going for a Mask of Madness on Muerta. I gotta say, I understand Muerta needs lifesteal, or at least you feel like you need lifesteal when you're farming with Muerta. That being said, I wonder if there isn't something she could get that would help her more. I'm a little worried that this will make her even more fragile in a game where she's going to struggle against the damage, against the minus armor, against the magic damage that's coming out. She does have the Oracle to protect them, but you know, the Oracle has his hands full with protecting multiple people already. Zeus ulti comes out, likely just searching for the enemy. And yeah, the Razor has changed his item build. It does look like he's going for a BKB now. There is an Arcane Rune that gets denied quite snazzily to prevent the Zeus from getting it. Meanwhile, on the top lane, the TA is pushing in, does have that Aegis now, and is starting to be aggressive. They have the Radiance on the Brewmaster. That's helpful. Definitely going to give them a power spike in this next team fight, but they have a lot of question marks in terms of how they're going to get in. And the fight starts with them going in on the TA, but the TA just turns and deletes the Clockwork. He dies right off the bat. The ult comes out from the Grimstroke in response to the ult coming out from the Muerta. She's doing a surprising amount of damage, able to take them down, and the Oracle is just keeping him alive, helping him fight. He comes back at full HP. They're now trying to go onto the Zeus. The Radiance Burn is going and is able to just burn off that refraction. They kill off the TA, but that's only the Aegis. There's a lot of questions about what they can do. Brewmaster TP's out, manages to make it away, and Oracle dies. So that would have been a 3 for 3, but the Aegis makes that a 2 for 3. And I mean, as far as the fight goes, that was I was definitely proven wrong there. The Oracle did an excellent job of keeping the Muerta alive through the damage coming out from the Zeus. A lot of damage there mitigated by that Oracle, but it still wasn't enough. Still wasn't enough to win them the fight. And now the Radiant just return, knocking again on that tower top. TA looks to have their next item flying out. It is a Blink Dagger, so they're going to be able to follow up on the Slardar. Slardar has that shard, but they are descending on them top. Lapse Pacifist running in on the Clockwork, trying to catch the Bane, but Bane is just too speedy. Ooh, that's not good. The Blink Dagger dies. This is a good opportunity. Out comes the hook. They manage to catch the TA. The TA is, again, probably just going to kill and turn the Clockwork, and out comes the ulti from the Zeus. The Fiend's Grip trying to purge it, but unable to do so. Hulk getting gone on. The TA jumps in, the minus armor coming out, and he just drops. They're able to now chase down the Oracle, kill him off, and Kingfisher is left watching his teammates die. Grim, meanwhile, harassing the Brew, keeping him occupied, but not enough to kill him. The Brewmaster does seem to still want to fight here, and even though they're down 4 to 3, they are still TPing in. Brew almost gets bursted down, managed to get his ult off in time. He's chasing them down. They put the TA up in the air. They are chasing after the Slardar. He gets a stun off, but the stun also coming out from that Brewling. running him down. He will not be able to TP. Meanwhile, though, TA does manage to do nothing. Puts a lot of damage out, but doesn't get a kill. Almost able to turn on the Brewmaster, but dies as well. So that's 2 very crisp kills, and Clock is looking for more. Going for that Eul Scepter, that will help him when he jumps the TA, that he doesn't just get turned on and blown up. But after some pretty brutal action for the last couple of minutes, it seems like both teams are content to back away from that dire tier 2 finally. Aether Lens looks to be the next item for the Grimstroke. That's going to be very helpful. That extra cast range, being able to leash the Brewmaster is good. You already have the Manta Style out on Zet. He's going to be able to split push pretty effectively with that. Brew's next item looks like it's going to be an Aeon Disc. Should be quite helpful for him. BKB getting closer on the Razor. No ideas as to what the next item for Oracle is going to be. A Force Staff wouldn't be bad here, but honestly, I think it's not really your item to get. I suppose it's more Clockwork's item to get, but a Lotus Orb would be very helpful for the Dire. Clockwork, like I said, going for that Eul Scepter, though. Muerta has that Mask of Madness, has that Force Staff. She understands the importance of being able to kite out the enemy team, or especially jumping in. Zeus is the type of hero that can pull a lot of distance, so she's going for that Hurricane Pike. TA also going for a BKB. She's getting closer. I would like to see a BKB on some of the other heroes on her team, such as Slardar, but he's going Eggs, and that will give him status resistance in any event. So that's going to be pretty helpful. Not the same thing as the BKB, but close enough for his purposes. Definitely worth getting. You have a Smoke up, running forward. Slardar jumping in onto the Clockwork. He pops the smoke, and he is rewarded with death. They do also get a Fiend's Grip out on the Brewmaster. He dies as well. He gets a Lotus Orb off, which is quite helpful for him. Oh, that's what the fucking thing was for. I'm so bad. Anyways, they kill him off. He gets a Lotus Orb, but it is not enough to save him. And the top tier 2 is finally claimed by the Radiant. So we'll see. The high ground is a little difficult to take. I think Razor is tough to take against, and they don't have the greatest siegers. Like, yeah, TA can hit, but she wants to be jumping in and blowing somebody up right off the bat, and usually you don't want to be the first person to go in. Slardar gets disarmed. He's going to jump forward anyways. Oracle seems to be getting caught out. Ults himself. Gets off that Rain of Destiny, and the ult comes out from Kingfisher. He's able to just kill off that Slardar. Zeus as well has left himself a little vulnerable. The Fear, the Manta Style. I don't know if it disjointed it or if it was just slightly out of range, but it seems like he was able to get away. And in any event, the Grimstroke presses E on him, giving that extra speed to run to the hills. Or to the hill here, I suppose. So a good exchange. I mean, they jump the Oracle. They get a pick-off that would be important to start most fights, but then they are able to turn it around and just using the damage that's going to be coming out from this Muerta. Razor, meanwhile, getting ever closer to that BKB. A little bit of item congestion issues, so it seems. When you get these early stat items, you don't really want to get rid of them before level 25 when they get so much more effective. I will just watch him hit Ancients. God, I love Lightning. I love Lightning Boy. Kill it. Thank you. Obviously, I know he wasn't listening to me there. I'm not that delusional. TA now has that BKB. It's nice, shiny, and it lasts 9 seconds. It's a quality product right there. No spells pierce through it except for some spells. And which ones? Well, you gotta read the tooltips. They might be able to just kill off this Brewmaster here. He gets slept. He gets Fiend's Gripped. He gets ulted, though, by the Oracle, keeping him alive. He's silenced. They might try and kill that off. He is just stunned for a very long time. He gets his ult off and is now going to just run at the Radiant. That burn damage going to come through from that. TA, however, pops the BKB, jumps onto Kingfisher. Kingfisher doesn't have the ult to protect him. Oracle already burned his ult, trying to get the disarm off. They do manage to successfully disarm the TA at the end of that, but what we have so far is a 2-for-1, and now the TA seems to be isolated. Zeus is there, able to put out the damage. They almost kill themselves on the Blade Mail, but they do manage to kill the Razor. And now it is the Dire's turn to knock on the Radiance towers. For the first time in a long time, they take down a tower. That top tier 1 falls. The BKB is going to be coming out next for the Muerta. That's an important item in this game. Important with all the damage that's coming out from the Zeus. You could still get Fiend's Grip, of course, but I don't think that's your biggest worry when you have that much damage coming out from Zeus, as well as other sources. And it, at the very least, frees up your Oracle to help some other people live as well. So this is a fine choice, in my opinion. Brewmaster, meanwhile, is now going for a Lincoln Sphere after that Lotus Orb. He just really hates single-targeted spells. He's like, why can't all spells just be like Drunken, or be like Cinder Brew? Why can't I just throw them on an AoE, and they just make everyone drunk? Bane, meanwhile, has a Force Staff, is going for an Aghanim Scepter. That'll make his ult much more difficult to interrupt. Maybe if you hit a Clockwork ult from the right angle, you can somehow stun all 3 of them, but that's going to be a pretty tough ask. 1,000 gold now away from that Aghanim Scepter, and it looks like they're going to just try and take Roshan again. But the Dire will not let them this time. There will definitely be a fight over it, as they are posturing up. A smoke on 3. Muerta running forward, also getting tagged into the smoke. They're jumping onto the Slardar. Razor popping that BKB. It's nice, it's shiny, and it does absolutely nothing when you are Fiend Script. They try to go onto the Brew, and they just die, both of them. However, on the other end of the fight, they're able to kill off the Razor, or sorry, the Clockwork very quickly. Ult coming out from the Grimstroke. That's going to be double damage from Zeus. However, they get the ult off on Brewmaster. He just chases them down, throws the TA up in the air. She can't contribute. Kingfisher gets a kill in the background, and Zeus is still just fleeing from this Brewmaster. Does pick up the Wisdom Rune. That's very important. It's a good thing that they have done that at least once this game that I've seen. They must have gotten it another time. And that's going to be a team wipe. Brewmaster chasing down the Zeus, and TA dying on the back line. Almost could have been an ultra kill for the carry, but Oracle, in his greedy support nature, took that kill. Helps get him that Force Staff, though, which is going to make him even harder to kill when they do try and go on him. And now the top tier 2 falls. So they got the top tier 1, and now they managed to pick the top tier 2. And there is going to be some pressure now coming the way of the Radiant, and the Dire are starting to slowly creep into a gold lead. One of the nice things about the Lotus Orb, by the way, is that it does reflect the chain lightning procs from Zeus's illusions. So whenever Zeus's illusions start right-clicking you, you put a Lotus Orb on yourself, it reflects all of those lightning casts back towards him. Also, I should say my announcer is the Darkest Dungeon announcer. It's pretty baller. Smoke now coming out from the Radiant. They want to get some of this momentum back. The Invis Brewmaster burning down the creep wave with his Radiance. I don't know if that is intentional, but he is now revealed. And they are starting to go on to him. But it looks like, because of the way this fight is going, they're posturing up around the Roshan. This is going to be interesting. They're looking to jump the back line. They have revealed the Clockwork, but the Clockwork says, I don't give a shit. He goes in, pushes away the Slardar. Maybe he does give a little bit of a shit. And Razor runs in. He BKBs right at the start of the fight, as well as blade mailing. So there's going to be a period of this time where he's very vulnerable to damage. They do kill the courier of the Grimstroke, and it looks like Razor is able to just chase down the Grimstroke, but on the other end of the fight, we have the Brewmaster ult coming out. They throw up the Slardar into the air, disarm the Bane, he dies, and now they're just able and free to pump out damage from that Muerta. Zeus, however, gets a kill on the Clockwork. He does finally die, despite getting revealed at the end, but he now has to flee as the Brewmaster gives up the chase. So fleeing was the right choice. However, that might end up in Grimstroke getting caught, and he gets put up into the air, helpfully, I suppose, dodging his own stun, but it does not matter. Or Brewmaster helped him dodge Brewmaster's stone stun, but it doesn't matter, as they take another tier 2. That's 2 tier 2s that have fallen in the last few minutes. Zeus trying to push out middle, but the TP's back, preventing that tower from being taken, and now they are free to simply go to Roche. They definitely have the damage. They definitely have the sustain to take this fight. And with a very helpful ward being placed, they will know if the Dire come to contest it again. Brewmaster ult is down for another minute, so this might be a different fight if they come, but you know, after losing one fight like that, it is tough to go back and take another beating. Roshan's banner going to be dropped. Changed in the latest patch. But I still think it's a very good item. If anything, I think it's a little bit better now. Bane still 1,500 gold away from his Ags. TA starting, practically speaking, to top out. Can still build some other items like the MKB here. That's going to help with the Radiance burn from the Brewmaster. But I think there's still going to be issues now with what she contributes to the game. Maybe should sell some backpack items, but I'm guilty of that as well. Looks like they might try and rat this one out. Just apply some pressure to force the Dire back because they are smoked out, and Brew does return. I'm a little unsure as to why the Aegis was placed on Razor. I think I would have liked it on Muerta, especially if she's the one that's going to be hitting high ground, but I suppose if Oracle is just on Muerta duty, keeping that carry alive, babysitting them, like you so often have to when you're a support player, then maybe that's their plan, and they think that they don't need the Aegis on Muerta. There's a lot of lightning this game, I gotta say. You got, you know, the Maelstrom, the Mjolnir now on Muerta, I apologize. The Razor lightning, that's all coming out. The Zeus lightning, that's all coming out. Surprised we're not hearing more thunder. It'll all come as one big clap at the end of the game. Razor is farming the Ancients, and the TA is in the proximity. They pop ulti. They seem to be running forward, trying to get onto the Bane. If I was Bane, I would probably just turn in Fiend's Grip, trying to get out. Will be able to TP successfully. No, the damage kills him off. And now the rest of the Dire swarm the area, hunting for kills. Got a double damage, or an amplified damage rune onto that Muerta. She is running around looking for kills. Razor, a little low on mana. That's why he gave Aegis. He just dies, and then he gets all his mana back. It's perfect. Or, you know, mana boots from the supports. That's pretty important. So they are now posturing, looking to go high ground. The Amplify damage rune is going to wear out soon, but they are able to just form ranks. Brewmaster walks forward. He is a very tough kill to get to start the fights, and Oracle is going to be able to just top him up and heal him. I think if Bane responds, they should just ult on Brew and then hit, but they're not. They're going to back up. And Brewmaster, he does have those level 2 boots of travel, probably to help against some of the ratting that he suspects will come out. They're looking to take the Tormentor. It's always a little bit scary doing this outside of the base because of how low it gets everyone. But they managed to take it, and it pays off. Oh, dude, you gotta put that Ogre Shield Totem in. That is the best item in the game now, especially because you flail. And they are looking to just take 2 Tormentors back to back. Razor. Razor. Oh, he lives. No, he does not. And they also managed to kill Muerta, taking those two back to back, and that's a lot of gold. 1,600 gold for the Zeus. He is not certain what to do. It looks like he wants to go for Glepnir for even more lightning this game. I gotta say, I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I think it's probably enough lightning already. But I'd be playing a lot more scared right now if I was the Dire. They seem to be trying to push, or at least a little bit further out than I think they should be, especially if they end up getting caught like this. The silence comes out on the Brewmaster. He throws out the Lotus Orb, running him down, gets a cleave. The Fear? Is that something new? Am I stupid? That's probably new. Cinder Blue applies Fear when ignited. That makes sense. And I don't ever see that because when I play Brewmaster, we lose before I can get to level 25. So that's why I didn't know that. Today I learned. Brew ults, and Oracle will be respawning in 1 second. They're still hacking the Muerta, which is a significant source of damage. Running them down, they've killed, oh boy, almost all of the Brewlings. He regrets his decision immensely, and he dies to the damage. Emphatic is running forward. He's looking for someone. He just wants to cast a spell, but everyone dies too quickly. Clockin, killing off the clock, and taking that tier 2 middle. So tier 2s have all dropped left, right, and center. There's one lone tier 2 left on the bottom of the map. A helpful high ground ward placed down by the Bane. And now they can just hit high ground fairly freely. Brew can buy back, but he does not have ulti. I'm not certain how helpful his presence will be in these fights. With the Ags completed onto Bane as well, if he just gets an ult off, that's going to be very difficult. Trying to go onto Razor, but Razor with the Oracle behind him is an extremely difficult kill to get. Again, they do have good heroes to hit. You can hit with the TA, or I mean, how would I say this? Your heroes do tower damage. They're not necessarily the best heroes to hit towers with, specifically TA, because TA, like I said, doesn't want to just be showing her face to start fights. But in any event, they back off, and the Dire now smoke. Sort of reveal that a little bit by dropping a deluge of spells onto that creep wave, but they're still going to push forward. They're still going to follow their creep wave down the wave and hopefully run into somebody while Brew respawns. And because Brew has those level 2 boots of travel, he could just join them right in that fight. So honestly, I don't mind. He's going for a refresher. They do catch out the Grimstroke, and Grimstroke just dies. Can't do a whole lot when you run into a Razor 40 minutes in as a Grimstroke. That's just going to happen. However, this time, Razor didn't burn his BKB and his Blade Mail at the very beginning, so they can just walk high ground, and they're able to take that tier 3 very easily. The Radiant were simply not set up to defend. Only now Zeus is throwing out spells. That was a lot of damage that just reflected back onto the Zeus. They are trying to sap the damage from the TA, but Oracle has to press ulti onto the Razor. Oracle gets left on the back line. They cannot keep him, or he cannot any longer keep the Razor alive. Razor heals up anyways. They go on Brew. Brew is trying to get his ult off. He does manage to get it off. They don't kill him in time. Clock jumps in perfect with the calling, and trapped in those cogs, they're able to get beautiful kills, get a kill onto the Zeus. He buys back, however, and a lot of damage is probably going to come out in return. But they take one of the range racks, and it looks like they're going to take one of the tier 2 racks, but ooh, no! Brewmaster ulti. He manages to end it early so he can come out and still be present for those fights. Zeus is running back. They're going to just hit the racks, though, or at least try and hit the racks. It has backdoor protection. They have another creep wave coming. It doesn't matter. It dies. Still 40 seconds without the TA. That is a very significant source of damage. I think most of it is still coming out from the Zeus in these fights. But nonetheless, it would be helpful for them to have him up. The Dire seem to be content just to back up, farm up. Take another fight. They've now taken a Rax from being down about 5k, I think, in the early game. They've now managed to bring it back. Slight swing, but is now firmly in their favor. Oh yeah, that's just over 5k. I'm right. Or was right. And now it is back in their favor. They're approximately 7 levels ahead and have an 87% chance of winning. That's what gold does for you, ladies and gentlemen. It helps you win. I think Dragon Knight says that. Steel wins battle, gold wins war. Except he says it in a much deeper and more exciting voice than mine. Or more inspiring voice than mine. Razor going for a Satanic next. He did end up going back for that Eternal Shroud later on. I still do like the order in which he built things. BKB, very helpful. Helped his team stand strong in the mid game. Even if I think he popped it a little early sometimes. You gotta put in that Ogre Seal Totem, my dude. Flail is the best. But in any event, Blink Dagger now on Oracle. Again, very helpful. You could sit even further back now to make sure you don't get initiated on, to make sure that you get your ulti off. And they're going to take Roche. It looks like the Radiant are trying to contest this. They're coming from the north. They jump on the Oracle, kill him off right away. Brewmaster gets his ulti down. Clockwork gets thrown up into the air by his own Yule Scepter, and Brewmaster is just making havoc left, right, and center. They kill off the Slardar. Kingfisher jumps in. He ults. He kills off at least one of those Bane Illusions, trying to go in and trying to find something to hit. Brewmaster on the other side of things ults again. He's still being disruptive on that backline. They do get the Bane. The Slaughter has bought back. He's in this thing. They're trying to just kill off the Brew, but the Brew also then chases down the Grimstroke. Everyone is just dying, unable to deal with the chaos that's coming in the backline, and they are chasing them down. TA gets caught. Meld Strike dispels that. Very helpful, but Kingfisher chases down the Zeus. Bane buys back, but it might be a little too late to have any substantial effect on this team fight, and they're able to just go high ground now. Gotta say, Billy Smoocher has been excellent on this Brewmaster. Bane dies. Too much damage at this point in the game. That's just what's gonna happen if you let Moira get on you. And the GG is called by Zet, by Clocken, Billy Smoocher turning it back. And the Smashers have taken game one. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for watching, for listening. Any feedback you can give me is appreciated. A co-caster would also be nice. I know that's something I should probably do in the future. But, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a wonderful day.